5,000 Roman soldiers marched into history, and then simply vanished from the record. The Ninth Legion, known as Legio IX Hispana, fought for generations across the expanding Roman world. It served under Julius Caesar, endured rebellion in Britain, earned a reputation as one of Rome's most experienced military formations. Yet sometime in the early 2nd century, the legion disappears from history. No ancient writer clearly records its destruction. No official account explains its fate. In this episode, we separate established facts from enduring theories to investigate one of Rome's greatest mysteries. The precise origins of the Ninth Legion remain uncertain, but historians generally agree it existed by the late Roman Republic and probably served during Julius Caesar's campaigns in Gaul, around 50 years before the birth of Christ. Roman legions were more than armies. They were disciplined institutions made up of infantry, engineers, surveyors, builders, and administrators. Their presence transformed conquered lands into Roman provinces. The Ninth earned distinction through years of warfare. It survived political upheaval, civil conflict, and the long transition from republic to empire. By the 1st century after Christ, Rome controlled enormous territories stretching from Britain to the Middle East. Life inside a legion was brutal. A legionary marched 20 miles a day in full armor, weighing nearly 70 pounds. He slept in a leather tent shared with 8 other men. He cooked his own food, mostly grain porridge, bacon, and sour wine. Discipline was absolute, and punishment was severe. But the legions also offered something rare in the ancient world: pay, retirement land, and Roman citizenship. By the early 2nd century, the Ninth was stationed at Eboracum, modern-day York, at the northern edge of Roman Britain. Its headquarters would become a permanent feature of the province. The Roman invasion of Britain began in AD 43 under Emperor Claudius. For Rome, the island represented prestige, resources, and strategic opportunity. But it also presented constant resistance. Dense forests, difficult terrain, and fiercely independent tribes made conquest slow and expensive. The Ninth Legion became deeply involved in maintaining Roman authority in the new province. Within 17 years, the Ninth would face one of the most catastrophic moments in its entire history. One of the most dangerous moments came during the rebellion of Queen Boudica in AD 60 or 61. The Iceni warrior queen had watched her daughters assaulted and her people flogged by Roman tax collectors. She raised an army of hundreds of thousands across eastern Britain and swept down on Camulodunum, the Roman settlement that would later become Colchester. The ancient historian Tacitus records that the Ninth Legion suffered heavy losses attempting to relieve the settlement. The Temple of Claudius was burned. Roman administration collapsed across the province. It was the closest Rome ever came to losing Britain entirely. Although devastated, the Ninth recovered. Over the following decades, it rebuilt and remained stationed in northern Britain. Then, in AD 107 or 108, during the reign of Emperor Trajan, an inscription discovered at Eboracum, modern York, shows the legion helping construct massive new stone fortifications. This is the last unquestioned evidence placing the Ninth in Britain. After that stone was laid, the legion disappears. Not a single contemporary Roman source clearly records what became of it. For the next 200 years, no Roman historian mentions the Ninth. No imperial rescript mentions the Ninth. No surviving papyrus mentions the Ninth. We assume it continued to exist. We assume it fought somewhere, but the record is silent. And this silence, spanning more than a century, is what makes the Ninth's disappearance so unusual. Roman military records are usually extensive. The loss of an entire legion would normally produce some trace. Here, there is nothing but absence. Then, during the 20th century, discoveries in Nijmegen in the modern Netherlands changed the discussion entirely. Archaeologists excavating along the Rhine frontier uncovered artifacts, building inscriptions, and dedications clearly connected to Legio IX Hispana. Some historians now interpret this evidence as proof that the legion, or at least a substantial part of it, was transferred from Britain to the continent sometime after AD 108. If correct, this destroys the popular theory that the entire legion perished in the British Isles. But the inscriptions don't tell us precisely when the transfer happened. They don't tell us what came after. The most famous explanation remains destruction in northern Britain. According to this view, the Ninth Legion advanced northward beyond Roman-controlled territory and suffered catastrophic defeat at the hands of the Caledonian tribes. The idea gained wide popularity through novels, films, and popular histories. It possesses dramatic appeal, a proud Roman legion marching into hostile lands, never to return. Yet modern scholarship treats this possibility very cautiously. The Nijmegen evidence suggests at least some portion of the legion existed after its supposed destruction in Britain. Today, many historians regard total annihilation as possible, but far from proven. Another theory places the legion far from Britain entirely. Rome faced serious conflicts across its eastern territories during the 2nd century. Major wars erupted in Judea and against the Parthian Empire. Some scholars suggest the Ninth may have been transferred east and destroyed during one of these campaigns. Unfortunately, the evidence remains scarce. Ancient records from these conflicts are incomplete. No surviving source explicitly identifies the Ninth among the forces involved. Nevertheless, the possibility cannot be dismissed. Roman history is full of legions being reassigned across enormous distances on short notice. A less dramatic explanation also exists, and historians must take it seriously. Roman military organization evolved continuously. Legions could be reorganized, merged with other units, or quietly disbanded following heavy casualties or political reforms. It is possible that Legio IX Hispana gradually ceased to exist as an independent formation without ever experiencing a single catastrophic event. If so, its disappearance from surviving records would reflect administrative change, not battlefield disaster. This theory lacks the cinematic appeal of mass destruction, but history often preserves the legends while quietly losing the paperwork. So what do we actually know? We know the Ninth Legion existed. We know it fought for Rome across multiple generations. We know it served in Britain and helped maintain imperial authority there. We know inscriptions place it at Eboracum around AD 108. And we know evidence from Nijmegen suggests activity beyond Britain afterward. Everything beyond those facts remains open to interpretation. Empires leave monuments, roads, and written histories. Yet even Rome, the greatest power of the ancient world, could not preserve every story. And that uncertainty is what continues to fascinate us nearly 2,000 years later. Until new evidence emerges, one of Rome's greatest mysteries remains exactly that, a mystery.